Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we have an important topic to talk about. It's time, my friends. It's time for you to learn to trust the process. Often we may find ourselves in the situation where we feel like nothing is working in our favor, like nothing is working for us. And sometimes it feels like the whole universe would be against us, especially when people are doubting us or people are giving us all possible negative opinions about ourselves or about what we are doing. And if you find yourself at a place where you've decided to follow your dreams, or you've decided to make something out of your life, or to do something truly empowering, or maybe you found out that you have some health problems, maybe, or financial problems, or relationship problems, and you're willing to make a change in your life. But as soon as you've started doing that, you've started to meet so many different challenges. And this is a video which will help you to learn to trust. So it's time for you to learn to trust. And there's actually a method, a formula, which can help you to develop trust in your life, which will help you to surrender to the process much easier, and you will feel worthier, you will feel enough, and you will experience a greater love for life, because you will notice that actually everything is happening for your greater transformation. But if we are not ready, and if we don't see how things are unfolding for our transformation, then often we meet challenges, so they would wake us up to that greater realization that the life is offering us lessons, and there's something we can do about it to avoid those painful experiences. So my friends, the first thing you can do is to firstly remind yourself to do not trust the way you see yourself or your life when you're in the lower emotions. So I call lower emotions of fear, emotions of sadness, emotions of anger, anxiety, stress, separation. You know, those lower emotions we experience when we are sad, and we start judging ourselves, we start judging others, we start competing with others, comparing ourselves with others. When we're in those lower emotional states, we start looking at our lives as something negative. We are living a negative story, and everybody around us seems to be happier, and so on. So never trust your mind when you're in those lower emotional states when it comes to how you see your life or how you see yourself. If you catch yourself in that state, okay, right now I feel sad, okay, right now I'm worrying, you catch yourself, you become aware how you feel, and then you take time to recalibrate yourself. What I mean by that, it means that you can self-regulate your emotions, but you need to gain greater self-awareness over your emotional body, which means that you take time. Every time you fall into the slower emotional states, I can give you an example, because when I've started working on my journey, on what I'm doing now, I had that great vision of what I want to manifest in my future, what I want to do, what I want to create. Like, I was not sure about all the details, like what I'm doing right now, but I had like a vision. I want to have that YouTube channel. I want to sell my art so I can make a living out of what I love to do the most. And that was my vision for the future. So I took action. Every single day I was working on that. But still there were times when I fall into the states like nothing is working, like I see no results, especially this one, I see no results, nothing is moving. And every time I've noticed myself that I'm falling into the slower emotional states, I stopped myself. I went into meditation. I was meditating a lot at that time, and it truly helped me. If it helps you, you can do that as well. If not, I will tell you later what you can do to trust and surrender more. So I went into meditation, and I've started to firstly I've calmed my body down so I could feel relaxed, I could feel grounded. And from that state of being completely relaxed, I've started visualizing myself. And I was visualizing myself already having all those things, already being in that potential reality for such a long time that I could feel it. I've sensed like how it feels. Like I was wondering like how it would feel if that would be already present, how it would feel if right now I would be attracting those results into my life. What are the emotions of that future? How I feel in that future. So I was able to awaken that energy which I will feel in that future. And right now I feel that way. So you see, that's how we start calling that energy of the future. And more often we plug ourselves to that energy, our future self. This is truly, truly powerful. Our future self will start giving us more of that energy of trust. We'll start trusting more. So more often you connect yourself with that future version of yourself, much easier will be for you to trust the process because you're reinvesting your energy into that potential future. And what will happen? You will start seeing synchronicities in your life. Eventually, events will start popping into your life which will be guiding you to that potential future. But what you need to do is you need to see the synchronicities, and you need to see signs in your life that are appearing so you can see what to do. Because sometimes, you know, we have that certain goals or certain vision for the future where we want to be, but sometimes things will happen a bit differently. So we need to be open-minded to see signs in our lives, what to do, what to quit, what to let go, what kind of habits to develop so we can maintain that higher energy. And that is so powerful when it comes to trust and surrender, is to see where we are going and to notice who we are not. Because, you know, so often in the slower emotional states we like to judge ourselves. We like to see ourselves as unworthy, as unhappy people, as like people which don't have any luck in their lives, like unlucky things are happening to you. But it's all coming from subconscious beliefs, subconscious patterns, which are most probably coming from our ancestors and people which were around us in our childhood. So it's not your fault if you're looking yourself that way or if you're thinking that way, but it is your fault to stay that way. And you can do a lot to change that, and all it is required is awareness and to do something about it once you become aware who you are and who you are not. So when I say who you are not, I mean the self-judgments and, you know, the way you see yourself when you fall into lower emotional states. Because when it comes to our goals and visions for the future, you may recognize that when you are in that peak state, in that high state of happiness or joy, you see your future completely differently than when you're in the slower emotional states and you experience the brain fog and lack of inspiration, lack of motivation. You see your future completely differently. So we need to learn to develop a pattern which can help us to get into that peak state of being, into that state of being focused, being aware, being fully conscious, being joyful. And in order to get there, you know, in that state we trust, we know that whatever we're doing will create powerful results. So how to get into that peak state of being? Well, the first thing is to take care of your sleeping patterns, because sleeping is so important when it comes to rejuvenation of our brain, when it comes to rejuvenation of our attention, our awareness, our focus, our energy. Sleep is so important. Sleep is the best possible meditation. If you have problems with sleep, make sure that you will do everything that is in your power to take care of better sleep. What I've learned for me is that I needed to develop a pattern. So I'm going to sleep at similar time, I'm waking up at similar time, I'm sleeping between 7 and 8 hours. Before sleep, I will meditate to calm down my creative mind. Because we are creative, we can be creative in positive or negative way. Most people are creative when it comes to problems and negative stories, so we need to take care of it. And my friends, if you will take care of your before bed routine, so important. If you will take care of it, you will start sleeping much better. Then of course make sure that you're not on your screen 2 hours or 1 hour before you go to bed, to take care of the quality of your sleep. Then once you will start sleeping better, you will notice that you're also feeling better, your body feels better, and your brain works better. That's where you can invest your energy much better. And you will become more self-aware. You will become more conscious about what you're doing, how you're feeling in your daily life. So then start doing something actively, start working on something you're passionate about, something which helps you to feel better, something which uplifts your spirit. Like for some people it's working out, for some people it's spending more time in nature. It's so important, spending time under the sun, and do something creatively. Those are the things which are actually reminding us who we are. When we are more time outside in the nature, we remind ourselves that we are the nature. That's why we feel so good when we are outside. When we are creating, we remind ourselves that we are the extension of the creator or of the creation. So our great purpose is to create, and we need to develop certain tools which allow us to create. Right? As for me it is painting and making these videos. You need to find out for yourself what you're passionate about creating, what you love to create, or what you love to do in your life, so you can start developing your gifts and talents. So it's important to recognize where you feel naturally drawn to, as I always say that to you. So you can start sharpening your natural gifts, and it will help you to get into that peak state of being joyful, being creative, being passionate, being motivated, being inspired. And every time you are in that state, the trust and surrender will be completely natural. Because when we are in peak state of being, we are completely present. We are one with what we are doing. And at that time, we just trust it. And whatever we are practicing doing, we become better at it, right? So if you get into that state more often, it will become a part of you. It will become something natural. So trust will become natural. And of course, because you're changing your energy, results will start happening much faster. And once you see small tiny results as tiny little synchronicities, like what you're working on, you start hearing it in certain music or in movies, people are talking about that thing, or you meet random people which are talking about the thing you're working on. Those are tiny little synchronicities. And sometimes we start seeing quotes which are reaffirming that manifestation is coming your way, or whatever it is. You start believing more that everything is actually working for you. And it's such a beautiful process. Once we start trusting more, then it's just like we would put some wood onto the fire, and we feel even more inspired to move forward. So always remind yourself to not trust your mind about how you see yourself or your life when you're in the slower emotional states. Learn to self-regulate your emotions and take care of your sleep, because sleep You know, sleep is so important, especially when it comes to our self-image, when it comes to how we feel about ourselves, about our lives, and how we feel about our passions and our life's mission, what we truly want to do here on this beautiful planet, what kind of impact we want to create, what we want to leave behind, and you know, will we help to create a better world, healthier world, or whatever it is. We all are a part of it. But if we are so much lost in the slower emotional states, it will be hard to get out of that victim mentality. So I hope this video can help you on that process. And my friends, always remind yourself to do what is in your power to do, but never overdo it. Once we start overdo something, we again fall into that energy of lack, not having it. That's why we want to force things. So there are actually two different states we like to fall into them. One is to worry or to be afraid that things will not happen, and the other one is to force things or to do too much of what we want to create. So both of two different states are coming from lack, not having it yet. It's not present yet, so I want to force things, or it's not present yet, so I'm worrying that it will not happen. If you catch yourself in these two different states, again, you need to learn to ground yourself. You need to learn to stop being there, to cut the stream of energy which is draining you from that creative, vital life force, and ground yourself back into this moment and ask yourself, are you taking action? Are you doing what is in your power? Are you in balance with yourself? If you're out of balance, what is pulling you out of balance? If you're doing less than you could you do more of it? If you're doing too much than you should, when it is enough? When there is that beautiful limit where you want to pause yourself and recharge your batteries. Of course, through time, those limits are changing, and thus that self-awareness is changing. So as long as you're staying aware and conscious about how you're moving through different processes that you're working on, easier it will be to find the balance, to find that state of harmony where you know that you're doing enough. And when you know that you're doing enough, it will be also much easier to feel enough. Even though you're already enough, you're already all that you need to be. But still, when we fall out of balance, we feel that we are not enough often. We feel unworthy. So you need to catch yourself at those different states, and you need to remind yourself, well, if I've put myself out of balance, let's get back in balance. What can help me to recharge myself? Because often when we get into the slower states, we like to distract ourselves. We feel what we sense feels unpleasant, so we like to distract ourselves with phones, with TV, with news, with food, with whatever. And before you distract yourself, check in what's happening within you. You know, the moment of introspection, the moment when you check up what's happening within you and you recognize, do I need something? Do I need to meditate right now a little bit? As I like to say to you, I often do those short checkups, meditations during my day, to just slow down a little bit, to, you know, to take a break for my brain, and to just check up what's happening in my emotional body, where's my energy, where's my focus, where's my attention right now? Am I worrying, or am I happy? Am I grateful, or whatever is happening? Pay attention to that. And you will see, as soon as you will start checking up within you, you will notice that you can't worry consciously. You can't be lost in the slower emotional states consciously, because you will know that it's not where you want to be. So you will get back to where you want to be, in that state of inner peace. And from that inner peace, you will do something which can help you to cultivate more of that peace in your life. So this is how you can develop a greater trust into the process that you're working on for you, and it will help you to embody more of that state in which you want to be. And it will also help you to surrender yourself to the process, my friend. So today, of course, with this video comes the topic, with the topic of trust comes the painting trust, which I've shared with you before, but it's so connected with this message. So I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. My friends, I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop, I Draw My Passion. You're truly appreciated. You can also follow me on my Instagram page, AttractPassion, where I'm sharing daily messages, daily reminders. And the other page is I Draw My Passion, where I'm sharing my art with you. I'm also making giveaways there and so on. So see you there, my friends. Until next time, one love.